Okay, welcome back to the Spiritual Creator Podcast. I'm your host, George Poulos. In this episode, we're going to be talking about money. So I have a big transmission to share with you guys about the journey that I've been on with money. I have a lot to share, a lot to say. I have a crazy journal scribbled with all the things that I want to say. I'm not going to try too hard to organize it. I'm just going to make sure that I hit everything because I have really been on a journey of stretching my limits when it comes to money and my understanding of money, how it ties to the spiritual journey has really been developing. It's also really tied to the creative entrepreneurship journey. That's what I do for work. I'm a creative entrepreneur. So I have a lot to share. Before we get into the money journey, I just want to briefly do a logistical update about the podcast. So it was kind of embarrassing. I made this decision to move the podcast to my main channel, and then I changed my mind because I thought it was too confusing. I moved it back to the second channel, and I'm talking about YouTube, by the way. For any audio only listeners, this doesn't really apply. But I sort of did this back and forth thing, and I was freaking out about the decision. Anyways, I feel like I've found clarity on that. I'm going to still be doing the video podcast actually on YouTube. They will be going on my main channel. I'm not going to worry about moving the archive over to my main channel. The whole archive of podcast episodes is on the Spotify and the audio platforms, as well as the second YouTube channel if you ever want to see those old videos. So we're just going to be blasting off in this new direction. One YouTube channel, the podcast will go there as well. And that's sort of the logistical update. And I need to remember to breathe. I get very excited when I record this episode, especially when I have a transmission that really wants to burst out. And this money one has been a big deal for me lately. Okay, so I've got my journal, I've got my stack of books, I've got a breathing strip on my nose because I found out that I have problems nasal breathing, and I definitely get out of breath recording the podcast, and I wonder if that has something to do with it. So the air is flowing in and out of my nose much more easily. I've also got a seltzer water, I've got incense burning. I think we're ready to go. Okay. So I'm going to kind of use my journal here as reference, and let's get into the money stuff. And could you help me out for one thing? Julia's in the other room painting. Oh, actually, never mind. I just need a pen of a different color so I can cross things out as I speak. Okay, so first of all, let me say this. Money is a really deeply ingrained topic for me where I have a lot of limitations and a lot of shame. It's scary for me to do this episode. It's scary for me to talk about money. Money is a topic where when it comes up, when I want to talk about what I'm learning and experiencing with money, or when I want to sell a product or service to my audience, all of this shame comes up. It's I want to shrivel up. I want to hide. I don't want to talk about it. I'm scared of how I will be perceived when I share my ideas about money, when I want to sell something. It's a really difficult topic for me, which shows how important it is for me to bring it to the light. And this is generally how it goes on the spiritual journey. When there's something that's it gets you so triggered that you just want to shrivel up and crunch in and hide. That's typically something that has really deep subconscious stories and limitations tied to it. And it becomes really important when you're ready to bring those things to the light. So by expressing this on this podcast, this episode in itself and trying to articulate this journey is me doing inner work on my own money fears and money beliefs to try to enter a more healthy and expansive state when it comes to my relationship with money. So, I've been through a lot of topics on this podcast when it comes to my spiritual journey. We've gone deep on love and dating. We've gone deep on creativity. We've gone deep on all of these things, right? There's this idea that like we are this person of infinite potential, but there's a box around us that's keeping us in severe limitation. And that box represents the ego. The ego is who we think we are in this moment. We think we're capable of certain things. We think we can say certain things, share certain things. We think we're capable of this much when it comes to creativity. We think we're capable of this much when it comes to love. We think we're capable of this much when it comes to money, right? So we have this box. And when you embark on a spiritual journey, what you're doing is you're making a decision that you want to investigate this box. You want to investigate your ego. See if these limiting stories are real. You do that with practices like meditation. You do that with practices like sharing your journey, expressing your journey, sharing what you're learning. All of these different things, right? So I'm really in a phase now where I'm really looking at my stories when it comes to money. Okay, and I think that the reason that this is really exploding for me right now is, as I've shared, I recently made an investment that was really scary for me to invest in a business coach. And we've been working together for like 6 weeks now. And it's really forced me to face my money demons. It's really forced me to face my money demons. Like, as I'm recording now, I finally settled into some calm, but like, I've had days and even weeks over the course of this coaching where I am doing things that make me really, really uncomfortable. I'm putting myself out there. I'm sharing my products and services. I'm sharing the prices, like trying to really own and like say like, yep, this is what I offer. It's like, Hector Marcel, the teacher from the meditation teacher training, really painted this beautiful image for me of like the journey of expansion. It's like a journey of stretching. Like when you put a lot of awareness on that limiting box that we have around ourselves, and when you decide I'm going to take action beyond that box because I know that I'm capable of more, when you actually take the action beyond that box, it's really uncomfortable. You're stretching. You're actually stretching your capacity. You're breaking a neural pathway in your brain, and you're saying, you know what? I can do more. I can be more. But still, the actual action requires a lot of bravery and courage, because it's out of your comfort zone. So there's this stretching that happens, and I've been stretching a lot. And again, like it's a situation where my ego wants to retreat. My ego wants to go back into the safe box. But I'm staying committed to this. I'm doing it, and I'm really grateful to have reached the point where I'm ready to record this episode. And by the way, I don't care if I'm rambling. This transmission is going to come out the way it comes out. So let me kind of start to walk you through the little story. Okay? The story I've been on with money, because it didn't start with this business coach. It started a long time ago. And I want to share with you one of my first breakthroughs about money that happened when I was very early on in my YouTube channel. Actually, let me backtrack a little more and tell you sort of how my money beliefs developed. So as I grew up, money was never an overt concern or worry. My parents supported me, sent me to college, bought me skate ramps and stuff so I could pursue skateboarding. Like, it was really, the quantity of money was not an issue, but I developed these mindsets around money, such as money is scarce, money is hard to get. I really, really like some of my core conditioning that I've really been breaking through on this spiritual journey is the idea that I must perform, I must be someone else, I must do things that I really don't want to do in order to make money. Money is hard to come by. I have to make a lot of sacrifices to make money. When I make money, when I have money, since it's a scarce resource, I need to hold on to it. I need to hoard it. I need to save as much of it as I can. I need to constantly be worried and protective to make sure that I keep all my money and don't lose it, right? These are some of the ideas that I grew up to believe, right? So a lot of fears around money. This is extremely common. Doesn't matter how wealthy you grew up. This mindset of fear around money is extremely prevalent. Okay, and this is what we're trying to heal. It's the mindset. So fast forward, right? I'm in college studying for a degree that I don't care about, that I think I have to do because that's what's going to pay the bills and get the 9-to-5 job, right? I'm operating in this mode of conditioning that's completely backwards. It's making me miserable. But then I decide there's too much pain. I'm going to start my YouTube channel. I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to do what it takes to become a full-time YouTuber. As you know, I succeeded on that journey. On the way, so early on in my YouTube channel, when I was really grinding, posting videos, being very committed, really dedicated to my purpose, I reached 10,000 subscribers only filming videos with my phone. It was like an iPhone, I don't know, 7 at the time or something. And I thought it was perfect. And there's actually a lesson in that in itself. I'll sprinkle this on you. So if you're on a creator journey and you're letting gear hold you back, I don't want you to do that. I built my YouTube channel to 10,000 subscribers just with my iPhone, and you can too. But then I hit a point where I met Brett Conti, one of my original mentors in life. And we had a conversation about buying a camera. And I was like, why would I buy a camera? I'm using this iPhone. It's working great for me. I don't need to spend the money on a camera. Why would I do that? I was already starting to make ad revenue on YouTube. I was just like saving as much of it as I could, and I didn't really spend any of it. Like I tried to just live as cheap as possible. The idea of investing in my art, investing in my passion was totally foreign to me. Okay, Brett put this idea in my head and it's never left me. I think this was like more than 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. Maybe 7 years ago. But he was like, if you're really passionate about something, you should invest in it. It's going to make your work better. It's going to make it easier for you to do the work. It's going to have all these benefits. So I took his advice, and I feel like that was the first time in my life that I made like a quote unquote scary investment in myself. I think I spent like $600 to buy a Canon G7X, which is a cute little camera. And then that became my YouTube vlogging camera. Now I want to tell you something really, really interesting about this. So I think that when you make an investment in your art or in yourself or in your self-growth journey or in your spiritual journey or in your career, whatever it is, when you make an investment in yourself, I think the investment, the decision itself to invest is almost more powerful. I think it is more powerful than the actual product or service that you're getting. Right? Because I was already filming YouTube videos with my iPhone. I was already finding success on YouTube that way. Did I really need a new camera? Would it up the quality of my videos a little bit? Yes. Would it make it a different experience to film videos? Yes. But really, what I think is really powerful about taking your money, which represents energy, and putting it towards yourself and your dreams and your vision in that way, I think the powerful thing is what it does in your mind, is what it does in your identity. I think that when you make a decision like that, you actually quantum leap into being a new version of yourself. You immediately, instantly shift into the version of yourself that invests in your art, that invests in yourself, right? So the moment I handed over the money to buy that camera, the shift was complete. I was now a person taking my YouTube channel that much more seriously, right? So did the camera help me film and create videos in a different way that was fun for me? Yes. But what was really powerful is what shifted in my energy. Because then I got to show up and I was like, filmed the unboxing video. Yo guys, I just got this new camera. Like, let's go. We're going to make all these videos. My energy shifted. An embodiment within me shifted to this different identity. No longer was I someone scrapping by, like making videos the cheapest way possible. No, I'm taking this seriously. I'm going to get tools that make this easier for me, that help my creativity flow out, right? So yes, there's the product or service you get, but there's also the energetic identity shift that you get when you make an investment in yourself in that way, right? So that was an early on lesson, and that has never left my mind. Thank you, Brett, for teaching me that. It was really important for me. But obviously that was 6-7 years ago. I still had much on this journey to go. So that sort of touches on spending, right? On investing a scary amount in your own journey. And I'll share a couple parallels. So the more recent ones, meditation teacher training. Guys, so by the time I invested in meditation teacher training, I was much further along on my journey. I had burnt out of skating. I had gotten deep into meditation. I started this spiritual podcast. I started sharing my journey. But at some point, I really descended into fear. I went into hiding again. I wasn't sure if I was maybe just really crazy and I needed to go back to the skate videos, right? I was going through all this stuff. But at one point I snapped. I was like, you know what? Even though the money was starting to slow down from the skating career, I was like, I'm going to invest in this meditation teacher training, right? So again, was the actual experience of meditation teacher training phenomenal? Yes, absolutely. I'm actually wearing their shirt, 3 Jewels. Phenomenal. Got to learn from an amazing, skilled spiritual teacher, Hector. Yes, the experience itself was amazing. But something powerful also happened the moment I was like, you know what? This feels uncomfortable. This is outside of my comfort zone. I'm going to do this anyway. I'm going to spend this scary amount of money. The moment that exchange happened, my identity shifted. I'm now someone who's taking my meditation seriously. I'm now someone who is learning to teach meditation. I'm not just like having this experience on my own, wondering about this, being not sure about it. No, there's been a real action, a real breaking through fear, a real decision to shift into this expanded identity, right? So that's the one powerful thing that happens when you make a scary investment like that. And then the next powerful things that happens is obviously you have the experience of a product or service that helps you move in the direction you want to. So isn't that amazing? And then the more recent one for me was the business coach, right? So what's happening there for me is I'm like again, like there's this like, okay, I did the meditation teacher training, but like there's something's not adding up. There's still a lot of fear. And then the intuition pulled me to working with my coach. And of course there's a lot of fear. It's another scary investment. But again, the moment I decided to invest, something shifted, right? I recently heard Julia, who's painting in there, she listens to this manifestation girly. Her name is Brooke. And I was overhearing on one of her podcasts. What's her username? Arcanum Life is her username. And she said, when you pay attention. This is absolutely true for me. When it came to the camera, right? I paid for that camera. I'm like, all right, now we're doing it. We're making these YouTube videos. I paid for MTT. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get the most of this experience because I just scared the jeepers out of myself. And same with the business coach, right? It's like, okay, I did this scary thing. It's actually time to face my fears with money now. It's actually time to learn how to sell from a bold and embodied place. Like, let's do this, right? So again, what I'm emphasizing here is the power of the moment where you decide to invest in yourself. I want to share on this note something that a school community member, Caroline, lots of love, Caroline. I hope it's okay that I'm sharing this. Caroline just shared with me that she invested in a laptop because she's taking her writing more seriously. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the energy. And it's really funny because I don't have it here, but I also recently invested in a laptop. For me, it was like, I have this desktop computer, but I'm like floating around the house and I'm like, oh, I really wish I had this laptop so I can just write on. It also would be really cool. It would really help me take Zoom calls and host my meditations on Zoom and host workshops without being stuck to a physical location. I could be at a cafe, I could travel, right? There's an intuitive pull to this laptop. And in my case, I procrastinated it for however much long because my ego mind, my fear mind, my scarcity mind that wants to hoard all my money and not use it and just keep it in an account and let it rot. That part of my mind is like, I don't know. I've already got this computer. Do I really need it? Am I really going to use it? Blah, blah, blah. So then I procrastinate for months. And when I finally went over the edge on that decision and got the laptop, I was flowing. I'm writing everywhere. I'm taking Zoom calls and it's feeling amazing. And it's helping me expand. And again, the identity shift happens and then you have the tool that helps you do your work and progress on your journey. Okay. So thanks, Caroline, for sharing that with me. And that's it. Another thing I want to share, and again, I'm going to give myself permission to go all over the place here. Another thing I want to share is that we are all going to have our stretch point, and it's going to be unique for each of us, right? So my most recent stretch point was that laptop, was that business coach. In the past, it was that camera, right? So And we have our stretch point not only with money and investment, but with our creativity, our creative dreams, with our love and relationships, with all facets of ourselves. There's always an edge. There's always an edge, right? We always have an edge, and when we push through that edge, when we stretch and do the uncomfortable, scary thing, and our ego is going to want to go back into the box, it's really going to want to retreat. But when we hold true, keep on our meditation practice, hold true, push through the fear, stay out there in the sun, then that edge is going to dissolve. And then you enjoy that freedom for a while. And then a new one, you realize you're still in an even bigger box, and the cycle continues. Okay. And there's comfort in realizing that this journey keeps going. We surrender to the journey. We don't need the outcome. We're just continuing to evolve and stretch as these beings. Okay, real quick before we continue, I'm going to practice what I preach in this episode and share with you that this episode is brought to you by the Spiritual Creator Community, which is my community that I'm hosting on School. This is an amazing community where I'm teaching meditation, where I'm hosting different kinds of Zoom events. This is a community of like-minded people on a spiritual and creative journey. Being in community when you're doing this vulnerable stuff, when you want to share vulnerably, where you're having these inner experiences, having community can be so powerful. It can help alleviate that doubt and that fear, just knowing that there are others out there and getting that face-to-face connection and chatting over text. And that's what we do here on School, baby. So if you're on the video, you can see me here. This is what it looks like. There is a discussion board where you can share questions, share what you're going through on your spiritual or creator journey. They're connected, as we know. There is a calendar where you can see all the different events, which includes a weekly meditation. All the recordings are posted to the community. May is also the month where I'm trying out different little events because this thing is just starting to bud and grow. We're doing a hangout this month. We're doing a creator workshop. We're doing a creator support check-in. We're doing a Q&A session with me. And there's a lot more that I want to build out and ideas that I have for this community. If you're feeling called to join, you are very, very, very much invited. I'm excited to meet you, to hang out, to get to know you, to meditate. It's only $10 a month to join, and your price will be locked in for life once you join. Next week, I'm going to be raising the price, so now is a great opportunity to join if you want to participate in this budding spiritual creator community that I am hosting. I can't wait to meet you. The link to join the school community is in the description or the show notes. And now let's get back to the episode. Okay, so whatever your stretch point is, it's perfectly fine. Okay, so I just wanted to share that. Okay, there's a lot here. So I hit on a big point there. It's the inner shift. It's the identity shift that happens when you decide to make a particular investment. And these particular investments usually really come with a heart calling. It really comes with a heart calling. Look, is there a place where you think buying more and more material possessions and more things is going to make you happy? And could that be toxic? Yes. But I'm coming at this from the other side of being like more just like afraid to use money, afraid to invest in your growth. There's a balance here that's really beautiful and taps you into abundance and flow, and that's what I'm getting at here. Okay, so that's one big point. Let me quickly scan over my notes here because I did not really organize them well. Okay, I said this is a topic that it's really tempting for me to shy away from. Yep. Okay, so I've really shared on that journey about spending, right? And this is gonna flow naturally. You'll see. This is gonna flow naturally into the creative entrepreneurship journey or wherever you're at. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You could have a job and this still applies. This exploration that I'm sharing is gonna flow into the receiving element, the receiving of abundance, not only the giving of abundance, but the receiving of it. Okay. And I want to start touching on karma. Okay, so I learned about karma in the Tibetan Buddhist meditation teacher training. And in the Tibetan Buddhist system, they have very specific laws about if you give this, then you will receive this. And generally, it's the same as what Christ taught, that what you reap, you will sow, right? So the seeds that you plant will grow into flowers that you receive later in time. So generally, the idea is this. If you are open with your abundance and you are spending where your heart feels called to, you will also receive. You plant the karma to also receive in abundance, right? But if your mind is in scarcity and fear when it comes to money, if when you get money, you lock it away, you hold on to it, you're scared to lose it, that is also planting karma for it to be difficult for you to then receive more money, right? Because you're in scarcity. And let me go a little deeper here. Why does this karma work? Why is it that if you spend money, you'll make money? Again, this is a business law too. You need to, if you're selling t-shirts, you need to buy the t-shirts so then you can put your design on them and sell them for a higher price, right? You can't get around it in business. You need to spend money in order to make money. So that follows the laws of karma nicely too. But let me get a little bit deeper. When you get in the habit of spending money, of giving people money and feeling good about it, what your mind is getting used to is, oh, money is something that can be shared, can be given out, and I'm watching someone else receive my money. So I'm starting to get the idea that it's okay for me to receive money, right? So our worldview is developed through our actions. So if we have this scarcity, hoarding money mindset, then we're going to develop a view that it's difficult for us to receive money because we're making it difficult for everyone else to receive our money. On the other hand, if you can, investigate that fear with internal work, look at the box, look at the limiting box that you're in, investigate it, meditate through it, do the inner work, console your inner child who's really scared of losing money. Look at where those stories came from your parents, your grandparents, the society, the teachers, whatever. Look at those stories, console your inner child, tell your inner child, I got you. It's going to be okay. We're going to spend this scary amount of money, but this is for us. This is for us. You do that inner work. You make the scary investment. You start to open. You're changing your belief about money. You're just changing your identity. And that change of identity is going to change your actions. It's going to change what you see is available to you. New opportunities that were always right in front of your face are suddenly going to come into view. And you're going to be like, I always could have done that to make money. And it's not bad and it's not evil. It's actually good and it's easy. And okay, so this is sort of how karma works. I'm going to backtrack a little bit, actually. So back to my conditioning, right? At some point, I developed this idea that money is bad. Money is evil. Like anytime something was sold, I had this little subtle animosity, thinking that like, ooh, that's bad. Like they're doing me dirty. They're trying to sell me something. Like they're trying to take my money. They're trying to take from me. Right. So even just walking down a city street, seeing the storefronts, I would have this subtle animosity about all these stores. Right. And this is a common one in our generation. I think this like animosity towards capitalism, this like thinking people who make money are bad. Guys, if you are in this mindset, I'm just going to be straight to you. I was in this mindset for a long time. If you are in this mindset, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Because what karma is that planting in your mind? When it comes time for you and you feel like you're worthy of a raise, or you're a creative entrepreneur and you want to sell a new product, what karma is in your mind about money? You're carrying all these stories that money is bad, money is evil. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to ask for that raise, to feel worthy of that raise, to sell your product. Because, and I'm saying you, but I'm talking about my own stories that I'm healing through. You have this idea that when someone sells you something, they're taking from you. They're doing something bad to you. So then when you're in the position of trying to sell your amazing product or service, or you want a raise from your job that you well deserve, you now have the idea in your mind from your karma that you've planted that I'm taking from this job by asking for a raise. It's bad to do this. It's hurting them. And similar when you're a creative entrepreneur, a spiritual entrepreneur, whatever position you're in, you think you're taking something, you're doing something bad by trying to sell, right? So this mindset locks us into a very dangerous box when it comes to money. And I'm going to take it even further, talking about my own journey. This story that money was bad and money is evil and all these people selling things, they're bad, they're up to no good. Why do they want all that money? What did that do for me, guys? It made me feel super righteous. It's my ego. It's good for my ego. Okay, I'm getting really excited here. My ego feels amazing that I think all these people are so bad and so evil for liking money, for making money. Meanwhile, I feel fucking righteous and I'm boxing myself into a story that is guaranteeing my brokenness. It's guaranteeing my brokenness, okay? You reap what you sow. So this mindset for me has been huge to shed light on. No wonder I feel so shy and uncomfortable and scared to share the fact that I have things for sale. I have products and services, So seeing this has been beautiful for my healing when it comes to money. Okay. And I'll tell you how I've been healing that. Obviously, what I'm sharing is I've been bringing the awareness to all this, seeing my behavior, seeing my habit of mind, and being like, oh shit, like that's, now that I know the law of karma, I understand what Jesus said and all that. I'm like, oh shit, this is, I'm hurting myself with this story. I'm hurting myself. I'm also teaching others through my behavior and actions that shame about money, that believing money is bad is the way. I'm hurting myself. I'm teaching others to hurt themselves in this way. This is not good. Let me address this. One of the first things I did, guys, and this is a big one, is I'm tipping the highest percent on the motherfucking iPad screen every time. Every time. You know how long I spent hitting the lowest option because I'm like, ooh, like it, that feeling when it stings to spend money, if you feel that has to be healed. Like that really negative sting. There's like a positive sting too. Like when I invested in MTT and the coach, there's like this positive sting. It's like this unknown. It's like this, ooh, like what's happening? We're expanding. That was scary. What's going to happen? But when it comes to the tip screen, it's like a powerful spiritual object, karmic object to work with. If you feel that sting when you see the tip screen and your fingers wavering over and you go to the lowest one, ooh, and even worse, if you have this like annoyance that the barista or the server is getting this tip from you, that's a really powerful place to do this work and to do this practice. I'll give you a mindset shift. Guys, when you spend money, you're helping someone survive. You're feeding someone's family when you spend money. And when you tip, you're literally putting money into someone's pocket that they can use to feed themselves, to feed their kids, to pay for their rent, to make their dreams come true. Think about that when you see that tip screen, right? Even if it's uncomfortable, hit the highest button on the tip thing. And I'm not preaching financial irresponsibility here, okay? Just to put that caveat here, I'm going deep on the mindset, the money mindset. So with that disclaimer said, hit the highest tip every single time with joy. Tip $2 on your $1 coffee and feel good about what you're doing. That practice is a powerful karmic shift. And it's not just with the little spending, like the food and the coffee and the whatever. Try to carry this mindset into anything you spend. When you spend that uncomfortable amount of money on the camera or the laptop or the coach or the class, whatever it is, feel really good about just think about that person's getting paid for what they're doing. They get to eat, they get to feel comfortable. Feel good about that. That karmically opens your mind to the possibility that your worldview starts to change, your identity starts to change. You start to be a person who sees money as good and helpful and useful. And you also open yourself up to receiving money in the same way. Okay? So those are some of the ways I've been practicing this. Where was I? Right. I share that you quantum leap into a new version of yourselves the moment that you invest in yourself, you shift your identity. If you pay attention. Right. So we should see money as a very potent spiritual vehicle through which we can practice choosing love and abundance versus fear and scarcity. This spiritual tool, this powerful karmic object, is available to us every time we spend money at the corner store, at the coffee shop. It's available to us every time we feel called to make a bigger and scarier investment in ourselves, whether it's tools for your art, whether it's gear for your creativity, whether it's software for your business, whether it's an outfit you feel really good in, whether it's a meal that you really want at a restaurant, whether it's going to hang out with your friends and do something that's going to bring a lot of joy and fulfillment. Money should not be seen as this like a thing to hoard. It should be seen as a powerful vehicle through which to do spiritual work. Okay. So we're shifting here. Okay. What else did I write? Okay, what another thing to share okay, another thing to share that I realized just today. So I love taking these electric city bikes. They've got these electric city bikes all over New York City. They zip around effortlessly. They're amazing. I moved to a neighborhood when I moved into this apartment that's like for not too far away from my previous neighborhood, but I still love my previous neighborhood and I like to go over there, and I have to go uphill to get back to this neighborhood. So it's really nice to take an electric city bike. But so often I'm like, ooh, it's like an extra $5 to take the electric one. So I'm just in this habit of like, I'm generally in this habit that I really want to break of like being like, ooh, I'm just going to take the cheaper option. I got to get home at 4 a.m. and the trains are busted. Nah, I'm not going to Uber. Like, let me fucking go to the subway. The subway's down. Let me go out, try to find the bus. Can't find the bus. Walk to the other subway. This summer, no. I'm taking as many electric city bikes as I want, right? Again, it's this mindset shift. What are we working for? Like, what are we working for? We're getting all this money. I'm telling you, it is not to keep it all in your savings account. And to keep your life as difficult as possible. No, it's a flow. We can use this money that we have as a spiritual tool to grow and expand in ourselves, in our careers, in our lives. Okay, so I'm getting the fucking electric city bikes, motherfucker. It's an electric city bike summer. Okay, I don't care. What else did I write? Okay, here's another thing. I've spoken a lot on this podcast and on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram, and this is really a transmission that I received during meditation teacher training, right? When we're all very afraid to get up there and teach meditation, we were constantly taught, think about the student. Think about the student who needs to learn meditation from you. This exploded my whole mind when it came to creating content online. I was like, holy shit, I've been in this mindset of I'm a creator. I need to take. I need to get as much from my audience as I can, as much views as I can, as much likes as I can, as much money as I can. Take to try to feel validated, to try to fill, I'm getting really excited, to try to fill the void within me, right? And in MTT, my mind flipped to service, and then suddenly it's like, oh, I'm here, I'm a creator. I actually have been through experiences that I can use to share and help other people move through their experiences. Let me shift to giving. How much can I give? And then suddenly you're not creating from anxiety, you're creating from love and abundance. You're giving, you're sharing your gifts. And remembering karma, remembering reap what you sow. When you're giving so abundantly, guaranteed to come back to you, right? So when we're in scarcity and ego fear, we think that we need to take, and then once we get, we need to hold on to it, put it away, never spend it, never do anything with it, just take and hoard. That's what we want to get away from. We want to shift to, oh no, I can help somebody, I can serve somebody, let me give this gift. That same shift is profound when it comes to business, entrepreneurship, etc. Right? If you're someone who's a teacher, an entrepreneur, an artist, you have something to sell. We all have something to sell, okay? Realize that your product or service can help someone. Do not lose sight of that. It's not about getting as much money as you can from the person. It's about, no, this can help someone. This can help someone. I've had experiences like MTT and my coach where I know that I had to pay in order to pay attention. So by offering this product or service for a price that feels right, I'm actually helping the individuals who are specifically in need of this product or service. I'm helping them take it seriously. We're creating this equal exchange. Now there's no people pleasing. There's no I'm getting frustrated because I'm being undercharged, underpaid. Now I'm not showing up in my fullest way. No, do you feel what I'm saying? So the shift from self-consciousness, take, to the shift to love, let me give, let me serve, let me assist, applies to business just as well. And you set yourself free creatively with that. You also set yourself free as an entrepreneur with that. Okay. So that's fucking powerful. That's fucking motherfucking powerful. Sorry, I'm cursing so much in this episode. What else did I write? I think I'm starting to hit on most of the things. Ooh, recording with this breathing strip on is working really beautifully. I wrote, now when I'm with people and I watch them skip the tip screen, I cringe for them. I don't even cringe for the person who's not getting the tip. I cringe for the person who's not giving the tip because I know what kind of money mindset they're perpetuating for themselves. Oh, I wanted to share a story that I read from Osho. Okay, so Osho's the controversial spiritual figure with the Rolls Royces who a lot of people hate. I love him. I've learned so much from him. Okay, but take it with your own grain of salt if you want. Also, I'm not an economist, and I don't think he was either, so another grain of salt. But he shared this story that never left my mind, and it actually exploded my mind. Again, I'm not an economics professor. But he said, imagine there's a room of 1,000 people, and nobody has any money except one person has $1, right? Everyone in the room has products and services for sale. And there's one person with $1 in the room. Now, if you look at that one person's mindset, if he's in fear and scarcity, he's going to be like, I got to keep this dollar. I'm the only one with $1. I need this dollar to be safe. I'm not spending this dollar. Okay, then situation over. There's $1 in the room. Nobody sells any products or services. That's it. Meanwhile, if he's in an open state of abundance and love, and one of the other persons in that room has a product or service that the guy with the dollar would really benefit from, he's going to give that dollar, pass it on to the person for the product or service. And then let's imagine this chain keeps going. Let's imagine everyone has an awakened money mindset. Then that person is going to pass it on for a different product or service and pass it on and pass it on and pass it on 1,000 times. So let's compare these two situations. In the first situation, there's $1 of value in the room. It was not passed on at all. In the second situation, there was $1,000 from a single dollar bill, $1,000 of value exchange created. And that dollar might have even returned to the original person, okay? And everyone benefited from some product or service. I'm just going to leave you with that. That stayed in my mind and never left and really got me thinking about my scarcity and fear mindset, okay? I also wrote one more thing. I wrote, I rebuke any idea that to be spiritual means I must remain broke. And I have some books I want to share. So another thing that I've shared on this podcast before that has never left my mind, Trungpa, Buddhist spiritual teacher that I have a lot of inspiration by, he wrote, and this blew my mind, right? Because on the spiritual path, it's common to get stuck in this idea that like money's bad, money's not spiritual. To be spiritual, one must rebuke money, right? And I'm rebuking that. I rebuke you. Trungpa wrote, according to Buddha, right livelihood means making money by working, earning dollars, pounds, francs, pesos. To buy food and pay rent, you need money. This is not a cruel imposition on us. It is a natural situation. We need not be embarrassed by dealing with money nor resent having to work. The more energy you put out, the more you get in. Earning money involves you in so many related situations that it permeates your whole life. Avoiding work usually is related to avoiding other aspects of life as well. People who reject the materialism of American society and set themselves apart from it are unwilling to face themselves. They would like to comfort themselves with the notion that they are leading philosophically virtuous lives rather than realizing that they are unwilling to work with the world as it is. We cannot expect to be helped by divine beings. If we adopt doctrines which lead us to expect blessings, then we will not be open to the real possibilities and situations. Buddha believed in cause and effect. ... You have overlooked karmic necessity. Okay, so that was an early on thing that blew my mind. I was like, spiritual teacher says money okay. Brain does not compute. But now it's starting to sink in. Okay, there's nothing bad about money. I mean, also observing Hector was really powerful for me. I'm like, like, they do a lot of scholarships, a lot of, there's a lot of volunteers. There's a lot of stuff there in 3 Jewels, but also there's a lot of, you can, like, a lot of stuff is free or by donation and they have scholarships, but like my karma is I watched myself pay for the meditation teacher training and I got this phenomenal benefit from it. And I'm like, okay, Hector, like, he doesn't look broke. 3 Jewels, I don't know the financial situation, but I'm like, like, there's full-time employees, there's people being paid, they're spiritual, right? So just witnessing that was really potent for me as well, right? Just having examples of like spiritual teachers who are like, yeah, like money is a part of this life. I'm not going to slip into this like deep materialist mindset of like, I need a fucking Bugatti, but like, let's still live abundantly and earn enough money in a healthy way to live really abundantly and happily, and to be able to spread your gifts even more freely and make an even greater impact, right? So wanted to share that. You are a badass at making money has been huge for me. There's actually so much I could say here. There's so much I could say on the money exploration. You are a badass at making money I've shared before. This was also huge for me. It hits on a lot of the same points I've shared here. And it also like gives you a lot of affirmations such as, I love money and money loves me. Say that out loud for yourself right now. I love money and money loves me. If that makes you cringe and wince, it shows you that you have work to do. It shows you that you're blocking your blessings, blocking your abundance with the story that you have in your mind. So if you cringe and wince at that, there's work to do there for you, my friend, okay? And I'm doing this work alongside of you. The law of divine compensation is also really good. This takes the principles from A Course in Miracles and speaks on them specifically about abundance. Okay, so I'm not going to get too deep into sharing more about these books right now, but just know they're very powerful and have impacted me. And I want to share one more thing, okay? This exploded my mind too. So, right, I shared that I've had been in the trap of this mindset that like money is bad. You need to avoid money to be spiritual. You need to like martyr and sacrifice yourself in order to prove that you're spiritual, right? And I rebuke that. Okay, look at this book. This is A Course in Miracles. This is a holy text. This is a holy motherfucking text right here, okay? And look at this book. there's a cover on it. It's really pretty. It says the title. It's in this golden box. There's this really pretty golden logo with this like sparkle. It outlines what's in the book. On the side, it says the title, and it says Foundation for Inner Peace. On the back, it has a description of what's in this book. Okay? And look at this book, guys. The Myth of Freedom and the Way of Meditation by Chogyam Trungpa. It's got this bright yellow color. It's got this beautiful logo. It's got the side. It's got the back with the description of the book. On the back, it has praise for the Myth of Freedom. There's some journal with a positive quote about the book. Guys, I know we love our books as these spiritual seekers. What are these books wrapped in? These books are wrapped in a sales page. Okay? And this is not to say that that's bad. That's what I used to think. I used to think, oh, sales is bad. That's evil. No, guys, these books are wrapped in sales print and sales writing. It's an advertisement to get you to buy the book. Okay? That also exploded my brain because I was like, for some reason, I didn't realize that books were a product. Is this like, does that blow anyone else's mind that like, this is sales writing? On the back of this spiritual book is sales writing. And here's a reframe, okay? Is there a way to do sales that's like, maybe like pressuring and too persuasive? Maybe. But sales fundamentally, like sales is when you share what your product or service is and the benefits that it may bring to the consumer. There's nothing bad about sales. It's so my business coach really helped me flip this and understand this. It can be from that service place, right? I'm very, very grateful that A Course in Miracles was marketed a certain way that appealed to me, that made me understand, maybe there's something in there that I would like. I'm so grateful that they sold this book to me, right? I feel like, with all the shame I've been working through about money, there's been this this fear of selling, there's been a fear of literally describing what I offer and sharing the price because I had this story that it's bad, that I'm taking something from someone. But you could actually realize like this book helped ease my pain. It helped understand something, and I exchanged money for it. I purchased it, right? When you pay attention. It's I don't know what your karma is, but like, and I know this is a story too, but I don't know what your karma is, but for me, when I find a book on the street, when I even experienced this with Netflix. I just got kicked out of my parents' Netflix subscription, and I finally bought my own. And now I feel more joy and pride when I watch Netflix. I'm not even shitting you. When you pay attention, okay? I'm grateful that 3 Jewels marketed their meditation teacher training in a certain way. I'm shifting to the realization, again, that my coach has helped me realize that selling can be service. Selling can be service. Right. These products and services, are easing pain, solving anxiety, sharing wisdom. It's natural and beautiful that there's money exchanged. This is a fucking profound shift for me, guys. So going forward, what does this look like for me, right? So I'm really stepping into my power. I'm stepping into my power. I'm owning my value. I'm gonna try to be really bold with the way that I'm sharing what I'm offering, right? I have the school community, the spiritual community. I'm gonna be pricing my products and services in a way that feels empowering to me, in a way that will empower you who may someday buy something that I'm offering, right? I notice when I'm also offering one-on-one coaching, and I notice as I'm doing these calls, I offer free brainstorming calls for folks who are interested in spiritual creative coaching. I've noticed that I start to feel really uncomfortable. All this shame really comes up when it comes time to really talk about what I offer, how I can help them, and what the investment is. So another step for me is to really continue to push through that discomfort, really show up, really own my value, continue doing that meditation, that inner work, healing those wounds, undoing those stories where I learned that money is something to be ashamed of, that money is bad, that money is something to shy away from. Consoling my inner child when needed. A lot of this money fear for me, I think, is really tied to this fear of rejection, this unawareness of how worthy and lovable I really am. I actually had a powerful experience doing some of this inner work recently where, I was feeling really triggered as I've been stepping into this new version of myself who's unafraid to sell and have products and services and coach and a paid community and all this. I was feeling really triggered, and I went into a meditation. And I really looked at what was going on. I let all the emotions come up. I didn't push them away. I let all the discomfort arise. And my inner child appeared. And I said, "What's wrong, buddy? Like, what's wrong?" And he said, "I'm scared of getting in trouble." And it was really sweet. And in my meditation there, I held my inner child. And I told him, "It's okay. It's going to be okay. I know we're doing something brave and scary, but this is actually for you. I want you to feel free. I want you to feel playful. I want you to feel abundant." And that was really some powerful, powerful inner work for me. Oh, man. So I really, really hope that you found this transmission helpful. If you're going through something similar, or maybe you're yet to really have this particular journey with money, and you will someday, or maybe you've moved through more of it than I have already, wherever you are on your journey, I'm really sending you a lot of love and support. This human thing is not easy. It gets complicated. It gets scary. We get triggered. We want to run back and hide. But I just want you to know I'm on this journey with you. We're going to be all right. We're going to figure this out. And we're going to keep unfolding, right? And blooming like flowers and flying like butterflies, okay? So, you can expect me to be practicing this. I'm really going to be sharing my offerings and whatnot. And of course, also trying to really deliver a lot of beautiful value in my free offerings, such as this podcast and etc. So lots of love to you. I would love to hear your thoughts, questions, comments. Leave me a voice note if you're on Spotify. Leave me a comment if you're on YouTube. If you're here on the school community, please leave your comments in the little comments section. I love having our little discussions on the episodes here. So, I can't wait to hear from you all. Any of your questions, ideas, thoughts, keep them coming in. I want more questions. They can be about money. They can be about love. They can be about spirituality, creativity. I'd love to hear what you're going through, and I can respond on the podcast. And I'll see you soon. Bye.